Representative O'Hara said bringing jobs to Montana is one of the main issues on the table for both parties, but they differ in how exactly to do that. The legislature officially convenes January 5th. Back to you. Nutritionists recommend a woman about my size eat about 1,500 calories and 50 grams of fat per day. For today, that's it. The architects and interior designers didn't have to go very far for inspiration. For everything from the panoramic views to the interior design colors, they simply looked to the Missouri River, right next door. Fried Twinkies and turkey legs, two favorite indulgences at the fair. But this little Twinkie contains as many calories as a Big Mac, about 600 and almost 50 grams of fat. And that turkey leg? Try 1,200 calories and almost 60 fat grams.
I'm shocked.
Nutritionists recommend a woman about my size eat about 1,500 calories and 50 grams of fat per day. For today, that's it. Some people just try not to think about it. Do you know how many calories are in that?
No.
Do you care?
Not really.
What if I told you there were 800 calories in that and 44 grams of fat?
I'd still eat it.
And if you want to walk off that 500 calorie foot-long hot dog with the 30 grams of fat, it'll only take about 4 hours. At the State Fair, Robbie Ann McPherson for Montana's news station. If you drank this much Mountain Dew, it's no wonder you would have the energy to bag up the cans and recycle them. But did you know those newspapers, scrap metal, and that broken lawnmower you keep tripping over in the garage can help bring an end to polio?
What a perfect way to gather money for Polio Plus, clean out our houses, make it much easier for our children when we pass on, and contribute money for a worldwide benefit.
Pakistan, Afghanistan, and some countries in Africa are still fighting the disease, and Rotary clubs across America are stepping up to a $100 million challenge from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Even that old car up on blocks in the yard can be worth something, or at least the parts are.
You name it, if it's made out of metal, we'll take it here. We also take all kinds of paper, cardboard, magazines. The only thing we don't take is plastic or glass.
Pacific Steel and Recycling handles about 500 tons of material per day. The metal items in these boxes will be crushed and shipped to smelters around the country.
We sort it, cut it, torch it, clean it, get it segregated into its different types of commodities in a small enough size to where it can be placed into a furnace, whether it's a steel furnace or an aluminum furnace, and then we ship it out either by rail or by truck.
So load up those old refrigerators or that old whatever and drive it right up to Pacific Steel on 12th Avenue.
They'll weigh it, sort it, figure out how much value, how much money it's worth, and then just tell them, donate my contribution to Polio Plus, Rotary Club of Great Falls.
In Great Falls, Robbie Ann McPherson for Montana's news station.
I put the methanol in there and I put the vegetable oil in there.
Okay,
And
so
it's
you
now
just
under
made
temperature.
that.
Yep, I just made that within the last hour.
In the old days, farmers made bathtub gin. Now it's bathtub biofuel.
Red Devil Lye, which is a catalyst, and I bought methanol or heat and vegetable oil, and mix these three together in known quantities with a little heat, and it creates the reaction right here that is biodiesel.
At Earl Fisher Biofuels, it's not so much about making a cheaper gallon of fuel. It costs about the same as diesel. It's about reducing local dependence on petroleum fuels and breathing cleaner air.
If I take a white, put it above, we don't see any black, put it above the petroleum, and we see the soot.
So the process of creating the biofuel itself is a clean process. It doesn't create even more waste.
No, we use everything. We use, in the crushing facility, we use the meal, we use the oil. In the biodiesel process, we use the glycerin and we use the biodiesel. So everything that goes in we have a use for coming out.
This stuff oozing out is the oil being removed from camelina seeds. It will be mixed with a catalyst and heat to create the biofuel. And this is what's left of the seeds, the meal that will be fed to local farm animals. Brett Earl and his partner Logan Fisher are big on local.
We can take local crops, and the train tracks that run by here, every time that train takes a bushel of wheat out of this area, it takes $1.20 out of the area, and that $1.20 doesn't come back. If we don't put it on a train, we bring it in here, we grow it locally, we manufacture it locally, and we consume it locally, we're going to capture that $1.20. And when we do that, we also capture 5 to 10 jobs.
A concept that impressed members of the 25 by 25 steering committee who toured the facility on Wednesday.
Well, I saw a very unique approach to producing biodiesel here at this facility. One of the great things about it was focused on local, using local products with local labor to sell products locally.
We believe the biodiesel industry is a decentralized energy theory or plan rather than the current centralized petroleum plan, and so we're going to prove that.
But before you pour that Wesson oil into the bathtub, you may want to consult with some experts.
You have to have the right equipment. You have to have a vapor recovery system for the methanol. Those type of things you have to have. You can make it in your garage, and people do it all the time, but making ASTM 6751 certified is much more difficult.